Hello everyone, Mazarok here, and today I want to be going over soul conduits for Affliction Warlocks. A lot of us are running the Night Fae Covenant for Affliction, and to me it's what makes more sense damage-wise, but there are arguments for each one aside from Venthyr, unfortunately, which just seems to be a DPS loss whenever used on anything less than like 4 targets. So a lot of us are running Night Fae. So Naya should be your first go for either Affliction or Demonology, but this is going to focus on Affliction. So for Soulbinds, we're not going to cover them too deeply. Naya should just basically be your one, which means that this week you actually unlocked a second potency conduit in your Soulbind. So first things first, you have your Grove of Invigoration. I found Focused Malignancy to be the best one, generally. I like the other 3 conduits, but it seems to be Focused Malignancy and a choice of which one fits you best. And it really is a choice. I actually do find the guides are a little off. So I'm going to go through them. We'll talk about them, and we'll see why. So Focused Malignancy is Malefic Rapture deals 20% increased damage to target suffering from your unstable affliction. Single target, an extra 20% Malefic Rapture spam. Huge amounts of damage all around. You need something to burst down in a raid. You need to burst down an ad for in Mythic Plus or anything like that. You put your unstable affliction, just start spamming Malefic Rapture, and it is super noticeable. It is by far the biggest damage increase. It is very passive. You don't need to do anything. It is quite literally just something that works out super well. And it should be your main go-to potency conduit. Now, I ended up with Corrupting Leer. I tested Cold Embrace. So the effectiveness of Shadow's Embrace is increased by 42%. I've tested it. Do not like it. Shadow's Embrace on a single target is easy to maintain, easy enough to maintain. Where this Cold Embrace becomes by far the best option. 100%, no questions asked. The problem is Shadow Embrace becomes insanely difficult to maintain once you add a second target, let alone a mob of 3 or 4 or 5. The moment you add a second target, Cold Embrace loses its entire worth. In single target, that's great, but the problem is swapping these around aren't cheap. Okay, and you cannot do so an infinite amount of time because of these conduit energies. So if you're going to do a single target fight, go back, swap over, go back, swap over. It's annoying. It is best in single target 100%. If you're having a little trouble clearing a raid boss that's single target and you need that little bump in energy in DPS to swap Cold Embrace, it will probably help you. Rolling Agony. Now, the duration of Agony is increased by X amount of seconds, depending on the eye level of the conduit. This one here is, I found it to be much better in Mythic Pluses. Things where you have Fort Week right now. Rolling Agony, fantastic. Much easier to maintain, much easier to keep up, more shard generation. I found it worked a lot better together, so I would do Focused Malignancy and Rolling Agony. And they worked really well together. I liked it. Now, as I am Night Fae, Soul Eater, that 35% damage increase is super noticeable. Soul Rot already hits like a truck. So if you want to apply this, do it up. It works really well. Problem is it's a once a minute cooldown that you get to apply your big dot on. It works really well. But Soul Eater is a good option for Affliction. It really is. Now, Corrupting Leer. Now, this is kind of my go-to second potency conduit, because in the raid fights that we've been in on stream and things like that, it seems like you need big burst damage like almost every 2 minutes and 15 seconds to 2 minutes and 45 seconds in a raid. That seems to be kind of how that raid is designed, and I was noticing that, like, we need big burst right now. My cooldowns don't align because I have 1 on 2 and 1 on 3, with Dark Soul Misery being a 2-minute cooldown and Dark Lair being a 3-minute cooldown. That was annoying me so much, where I could not I dropped down in the DPS meters because I wouldn't have a Dark Lair up versus classes that strictly have 1.5, 2 minute big CDs for their DPS versus me having to wait that 3 minutes, having to wait on Dark Soul Misery to really pump out that extra damage. It wasn't fun. So I tested out Corrupting Leer in Castle Nathria, and what I found was, on average, I was getting 220 to 230 minute Dark Lairs. Now, it doesn't sound like much, and I know, and that's on single target fights. It would get brought down to almost 2 minutes when we added multi, like, you know, Huntsman, things like that, things where I could upkeep several agonies on different targets. I noticed that that would get bumped down quite a bit. It would be like 2 minutes 10-ish, so it wouldn't be bad at all. But just that drop down allowed me extra time. Allowed me to bump in with my big CDs, my big damage CDs, when I needed them to align better with the time warps that we were doing. So this is strictly from our raid group. This might not be a your raid group type scenario, but for me, bringing down that Dark Lair, and I know what some of you may say, you can do it with the dark color. Haunt, I'm not losing 10% of my damage at all times. It's just not happening. Not for a 2 minute CD on Dark Lair. Because there's not one of these that's going to add that 10% damage increase. Cold Embrace, yeah, sure, it'll give you a 16% damage amp on what you maintain. And that's, again, the problem. Shadow's Embrace is insanely difficult to maintain on any target but one. So, Haunt is still the best play for me here. Corrupting Leer brings this down more in focus. I had one run in a Mythic Plus where my Dark Lair actually came off cooldown faster than my Dark Soul Misery. So this is a workable thing that you guys can, and you guys will absolutely notice a difference. And having these two line up closer together, in my opinion, should be the go-to, kind of the standard, and then swap as you need it. If you find that, you know, Corrupting Leer just isn't quite what you need for the fight, if you have single target, go swap the Cold Embrace if you need it. Go swap the Soul Eater if you need a much more bigger punch on a 1 minute every minute. Because, you know, there are different fight mechanics and things like that. If you need to maintain agonies on more targets, you know. I personally, on Sun King, I would roll Rolling Agony or Corrupting Leer. Really your choice. Personally, I probably go with Corrupting Leer, but since it's not a huge focus fight, I might actually go Rolling Agony and Corrupting Leer together. There's a lot of moving pieces in that fight, and I tend to take care of a lot. My DPS suffers big time in Sun King, just due to kind of how much curses and things I'm applying in slows and trying to work around mechanics. My parses are terrible, but that's just what I'm doing is for raid mechanics and things like that. So, you know, and there's not a huge burst, you know, you need to burst down some stuff, but we got a lot of single targets. So look at what your raid needs, look at things like that. So in all honesty, I think Corrupting Leer should be kind of not the gold standard, that's the wrong way to say it, but I think it should be kind of your general go-to. It's going to be useful all around. You're casting Agony, you're keeping up Unstable Affliction on at least one target. It's always going to be useful to bring down that Dark Lair, line those up. You don't have to hold Dark Soul Miseries as much, and you'll be able to see your damage get bumped up every 2 minutes instead of every 3, which feels a lot better. So this is me and the Soul Conduits today for Affliction. I am going to be doing the Demonology video a little bit later. Those I have a few different thoughts on, but we'll get to those when we get to them. So that's my Affliction video. I stream on Twitch every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Come check those out. We just got affiliated. That has been a thing that has happened. Super happy, and again, thank you very much to everybody who participated in that. Thank you so much for the support. I look forward to seeing how much more we can grow and how much more fun we can have. And Sundays is D&D, so come on by, check that out. We're in the Rime of the Frostbane campaign that I've been DMing. It's just been a lot of fun. It's been a very, very good time. So come by, check that out. I look forward to seeing you guys on the stream. If you have any thoughts on the Soul Conduits for Affliction, let me know down below. Like I said, I will be covering down Demonology. Is there something I missed? Now, okay. So those were mainly the potency concepts that I wanted to go. At the end of the video, I guess I'll cover the rest. Finesse, Fell Celebrity, Absolute go-to for finesse, no ifs, ands, or buts. Dropping down that Fel domination is absolutely huge, but if you think you need it, demonic teleport, movement speed, 42%, really, really nice. In raid scenarios, really, really, really good to have. And of course, there is the resolute barrier, really good if you need it. Attacks received that deal at least 5% of your health, decrease unending resolve by 10 seconds. Can't happen more than once every 26 seconds. So really, you're going to get a 40 in a raid. Generally, you'll get 30 to 40 seconds off that, which is nice, but not huge. Gaining this leech of Diabolic Bloodstone, though, love it, love it, love it. Especially if you're the only lock in a raid of 20, you're going to see your leech go up a lot. Really aiding that survivability, as long as people are using your health stones. So this is one of those things where you kind of have to be that annoying kid in the back. Use your health stones! Luckily, we have a wonderful raid leader who literally calls people out for using them. Like not calls people out for using them, but to use them. That's the proper terminology there. Oh, big raid damage. Everybody use your health stones. Or, you know, use them if you got them. Things like that. So, the Warlocks definitely notice a big leech increase, which is super, super nice to see. Aside from that, yeah. Covered everything. Demonology video will be coming out tomorrow or the day after as I go through them, and I have some ideas. I just kind of need to test out a few more things before coming to my final conclusions. Aside from that, I look forward to seeing everybody on stream, and have yourselves a good day, man. Hopefully you guys are staying safe. I know it's a scary world out there right now, and well, Shadowlands might be a different way to alleviate some of the stress.